Adrien, bonjour.
Adrien over here, I'm from Canal Plus. Yesterday, Fofana was talking about the collective win. You've got yourself into the semi-finals, and do you think that with Antoine and Kylian performing the way they are you going to hit this final? And do you think that they'll get back to where they need to be by the end of the tournament? Yes, so we've always talked about the fact that it's a team game, it's a team effort here. It's been the case for all of the other competitions that we've played in, and it is the case for this Euros, even though we maybe are having a little trouble. We've got to the semi-finals of an important competition with opponents that have given us, that have been very good. So obviously our team spirit is important. Winning as a team is more important than winning on the individual front. And for Antoine and Kylian, they're maybe not as, their legs aren't as fresh as they maybe could be, but we are 100% behind them. We have 100% blind faith in them. We know that these are players who can change the game at any point. Therefore, we're going to need them right up until the very end, especially if we want to get to the final and take that final home. Hi, Adrien, Stéphane from Le Parisien. Yesterday, there weren't any football games to watch. However, there were the results of the elections in France. What was it like for you? Were you following the results? Did you guys follow the results together, or was everyone watching by themselves? And were you happy about the fact that the national rally did not get in? We didn't watch together, no, because we got back from our coaching session. We had dinner, or lunch rather, or dinner once again at 8:15, and then everyone went back to their rooms. So we obviously were concerned about the results of this election. We have other things playing on our minds as well, but this isn't something that was mentioned. You saw that some of the players actually were active on social media. We haven't spoken about this collectively altogether, but I think that a lot of people felt relief after the results yesterday. No, I've always said that sports and politics don't always go well together. As I mentioned, we've got a semi-final, and I think that we needed to put politics to one side. We told people that the French that needed to go and vote, because democracy was the one that was going to take the decision. I saw that there were lots of people who went to vote, the highest voting, and we need to leave the analysis to those who may be good at that. I'm a footballer. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't know. We'll see what the future holds. Hi, Adrien, the captain of the French team, before the last game was saying that since Paul Pogba leaving, there were not as many players capable enough of playing it both into the depth. Do you agree with him? I didn't hear that, but no, I didn't feel like he was talking about me in particular. No, I think that if he mentioned this, maybe because Paul Pogba has that, or had that capacity. We've got other player profiles on the pitch. You just need to get on with it and adapt. As midfielders, we play with different forwards in the French national team, and then when we're back in our club, so we need to adapt to what they're asking, how they like to receive the ball. As a footballer, you need to have that chameleon quality. But I don't think that there's a debate in terms of the quality of Paul's capacity and his ability. I think it's just about getting used to playing with different midfielders. Hi, Adrien, Guy from RMC Sport. Same registers. Ousmane Dembélé also explained that sometimes the 4-4-3, the 4-4-2 diamond, and that sometimes you were kind of taken aback. Do you understand this shaking things up and the fact that he's holding his cards close to his chest? Because it's one thing hiding it from the press, but hiding it from his players? Do you think he's trying to be one step ahead of the game? I think it's more to hide things from you guys than to hide things from us. There's collateral damage, yes, but no, it can be quite difficult for him as well when he's trying to implement his strategy. A lot of information leaks out, And that
de voir que quand on a
isn't ever
travaillé quelque chose à
nice to
l'entraînement,
see that when you've
même
really
l'entraînement,
worked
c'est
hard on
déjà dans les médias.
something, at the end of the coaching session, the media have
C'est
already
dommage
caught
pour
wind of
nous
it.
et je
It's a
dirais
shame
c'est
for
même
us. And
dommage
I would
pour tout
even
le
say that
monde,
it's a
aussi pour
shame
vous,
for
parce que quand ça
everyone,
sort,
for
ça
you
donne
guys
des
as well,
indications à
because when
l'adversaire,
it
alors que
comes
nous, on est
out, it
censé travailler
gives
des choses
tips to
qui
the
pourraient
opponent.
rester
So if we're trying to work on things,
cachées jusqu'à
we're
la
trying to
fin,
keep
jusqu'à la
them up
dernière
our
minute avant le
sleeve
match.
right until the
Et
last
donc,
minute, right
je pense
until
que le coach
the
essaie aussi de brouiller les pistes
kickoff.
certaines fois.
So I
Comme j'ai dit, on a
imagine that
des
the
joueurs
coach
de
is
très haut
trying to
niveau, on est
pull the
capable
wool
de
over your
s'adapter.
eyes. And when we're at a high level, when we're playing high level
Il a
football, as I
travaillé
mentioned, we
avec nous plusieurs
adapt.
systèmes.
He's
Donc,
worked on different
même
formations
si
with
des fois à la
us.
dernière minute, on sait ce
And
qu'on a
even
à
if he
faire
changes the
dans
formation
chacun de
at
ces
the last
systèmes.
minute, we'll know exactly what we
Et
need to
voilà.
do when
Je
playing
pense
in
qu'il
each of
faut,
these
comme j'ai
different
dit, c'est toujours pareil,
formations.
cette qualité
As I mentioned, it's
d'adaptation.
always, you have to have the ability to adapt if you're a high level footballer. I'm from l'équipe, Damien Legrand. How is Antoine Griezmann doing? And you, as his teammate, are you quite taken aback to see the level of football that he's playing, which is not usual for him in France? And do you think that this Euros can still be
Surpris,
won
bien
without
évidemment. Je pense
Antoine
que
Griezmann
on
at
est
his
tous surpris
best?
quand on connaît la qualité d'Antoine, ce qu'il est
Surprised.
capable de faire, ce
Yeah,
qu'il a
I think
réalisé
everyone's surprised because we know exactly what
Coupe
Antoine
du
is
Monde,
capable
où
of.
il
We
était
saw
peut-être sans
what he
doute
pulled out of the bag
le
during the
meilleur joueur
last World Cup, and I think
de
that
cette
he was
Coupe du
probably
Monde.
at the peak of
Après, je
his
sais pas
playing.
comment
But I
l'expliquer.
don't
Peut-être
know
beaucoup moins
how
bien
to
physiquement.
explain the tough spell. Maybe
Je sais pas si vous lui avez
he's
posé la question,
physically
si vous
not
avez eu
doing
des
as well.
réponses par
Have
rapport à
you
ça.
asked him? I don't know if
Mais
you've asked him
bien entendu
directly.
que
But
on
obviously,
attend, je pense à
we
l'extérieur
have
et nous en tant que coéquipiers,
expectations
beaucoup
when it
plus
comes
d'Antoine
to
parce qu'il est
Antoine.
capable de faire
We
beaucoup
expect a
plus.
lot more from him just because
Aussi
he's
sur le fait
capable of giving a lot more, be us
de
the
gagner
teammates
sans
or
un
the
grand
media.
Antoine, comme j'ai dit, on a
Are we
un
going to
collectif
win
de très haut
without a
niveau. En tous les cas,
great
on est
Antoine? We
derrière
have a
chacun de nos
high
joueurs.
level
Voilà, quand il y a un joueur
team. That's what I
qui est moins
mentioned
bien, que ce
earlier, where
soit
it's a
le
team
capitaine
sport.
comme
And when
Kylian,
we've
que ce soit
got
Antoine,
the
peu importe,
captain, so
on est
Kylian
là,
or Antoine,
on
if
soutient nos
someone's having a
coéquipiers.
little bit of a
Mais
rough
bien
patch, that's
évidemment que ce
absolutely fine. We're
serait
there
sans
to
doute plus facile
support them. But obviously, it would be
s'il était au top de
easier
leur forme, c'est pas le
if
cas.
we
Encore
had
une fois,
the
faut
Antoine and the
s'adapter.
Kylian playing at the top of the game,
Voilà, le
which
coach
unfortunately isn't the
fait
case.
des choix aussi,
But
a
the
dû faire des
coach
choix.
is also
Et
making
jusqu'à
and
présent, ça
has
s'est
had
bien
to
passé. Donc,
make
pourvu que ça dure.
choices. Up until now, everything's gone well, so
Bonjour
let's hope
Adrien,
that we continue in
ici
this vein.
Emmanuel Baranguet
Hi,
pour
Adrien,
l'agence France
Emmanuel
Presse.
Baranguet
Je voulais
for
une question plus
l'agence
personnelle,
France
te demander comment
Presse.
tu
I
l'as vécu
have a more
toi
personal question.
le quart de finale, en
How did
particulier
you
la séance de
feel
tir au
about the
but. Est-ce que tu étais
quarterfinal
rentré
and also
maison
the
ou est-ce que
penalty
c'était affreux
shootout?
de stress
Was it
de ne pas pouvoir
nerve-wracking? Were you
participer?
biting your nails? Was
Alors,
it stressful
j'ai jamais
not to
vécu de
participate?
quart de finale avant celui-là en tribune. Et je savais pas à
I
quoi ça ressemblait, mais c'est vrai
prior to this, I
que
didn't know what it was like sitting
c'est
in the
hyper
stands for a
stressant, même bien plus que
quarterfinals,
ça.
and
J'ai
it's
eu des
so
crampes,
stressful.
alors
I had
que en étant
cramps,
sur le terrain, j'en ai
and
pas.
but when I'm on the pitch, I never get cramps.
Et c'était vraiment, non, c'est vraiment très très
And
stressant.
yeah, it was very,
Je connais pas
very
personne d'être dans cette
stressful.
position en tant que joueur,
I
mais
don't,
j'étais
as a
très
player,
content, très
it's an awful
soulagé.
position to be in,
J'avais
but I
confiance en
was
l'équipe.
relieved. I was happy. I had
Voilà,
faith in my
les,
team.
les tirs au but ont été très bien
The
tirés.
penalty shootout went well. All of the
C'est
penalties were well
une belle
taken.
récompense pour le groupe et
It is a great
j'avais un peu really
prize
envie qu'ils
and
gagnent pour
compensation. I really
rejouer,
wanted them to win, obviously, so that
revenir
I
sur le
could
terrain et jouer
get
cette
back on the
demi-finale.
pitch for the
C'est le cas, je suis très
semi-final.
heureux et
And
j'espère
this is
pouvoir
the
amener cette
case.
équipe
I'm
en
delighted, and I'm
finale.
going to do everything that I can so that we
Adrien,
can make it to the
sur ta
final.
droite, sur ton
Adrien,
j'ai
over
deux
here
petites
on your
questions autour de
right,
l'équipe d'Espagne.
GDD, two
Comment tu juges
questions about the
l'évolution
Spanish
depuis
team.
du
What do
jeu
you think
de
about the
cette équipe
progress
depuis
of the
que De La
Spanish
Fuente a
team
remplacé Luis Enrique?
since
Ça semble
De La
être vraiment beaucoup
Fuente
plus rapide.
replaced Luis
Est-ce que la clé du
Enrique?
match
I feel
demain, tu
that
penses
there
qu'elle
has
sera
been a
plus sur les ailes
skyrocket
avec
in
ces deux ailiers
performance,
qui
and
crèvent l'écran à
tomorrow,
nouveau,
do you
Williams
think that it will
et
be
Yamal, plutôt dans
Williams
le
and
corps de
Yamal
jeu
on the
avec
wings,
ces
or do
trois
you
milieux de
think
terrain
that it will
que tu
be
connais
in the
bien aussi?
midfielder
Merci.
with the three midfielders that you know very well, who
On est
will
tous
really
unanimes pour dire que
come
c'est
down to the wire?
l'équipe qui joue le
I
mieux
think
dans ce
that
tournoi.
it's
Euh,
Spain is obviously goes
qui
without
a la
saying the
possession
team that
du
has played the
ballon,
best in
la
the
possession du ballon,
in
fidèle à
the
elle-même,
tournament.
qui a des bonnes manières de balle
Ball
en milieu,
possession,
de très bons
great
joueurs
ball
sur les
control
ailes,
in
qui sont capables de
midfield,
percuter,
great wingers as well. They can
qui sont
penetrate
capables de marquer aussi.
the last
C'est une
third.
équipe
They also know how to
complète.
score goals. It's a very complete team.
Voilà, ils ont leur force,
They have their
peut-être leur
strengths.
faiblesse aussi.
They
Mais en tout
probably
cas,
have
on
weaknesses
est
as well.
confiant.
We're confident. We know what we need to do. It's a team that we need to shake up. I think that the opponents let Spain stay in their groove, and we're going to see what they bring to the table tomorrow. We know that when teams come up against France, they sometimes change their playing style, and they're not always true to themselves. That's something that needs to be taken into consideration. But I hope that it will be a beautiful semi-final with two great teams.
Adrien, question
Thank
in
you.
English, please. There is of course a lot of pressure on 16-year-old Yamal before the semifinals. Do you think there's any reason to worry about the psychological effects this kind of pressure and this kind of match can have on a 16-year-old?
Bon, on a vu que c'était un joueur.
We've seen that.
On a vu que c'était un joueur qui savait très bien.
We've seen that it's a player who can deal with stress very well, has lots of qualities, who is capable of playing for his club, but also in a major tournament such as this. We know what he's made of. We know that he keeps a cool head, but obviously it can be quite difficult to deal with a semi-final in a big tournament. But I think it will be up to us to put pressure on him, but also to show that we want him to come out of his comfort zone, and that if you want to be able to play a Euro final, you need to be able to do a bit more than he's done. So, up until now. And we're going to finish with two questions over there, Artiel and Provençal. Hi, Adrien, on your right. You spoke about the penalty shootout earlier. Theo scored the qualifying penalty, and we also saw a good return against Carrasco for Belgium. You play with him in Italy. Do you think that he's kicking things up a notch? Theo is a player that doesn't get spoken about that much, but he has a hugely important role. We saw the role that he played, that he has played. He's played all of the games. He is an essential link in the chain. And in Italy, he's made a name for himself. He's had blinds of a season. He's the deputy, or vice captain rather, at AC Milan. And then at the French team as well, he's had great games. He keeps a cool head. He handles stress and pressure well. We saw it when he took the deciding penalty to book that spot in the semi-finals. He plays quite simple football, but it does our team a lot of good, especially up front, with what he can do on that left flank. He actually combines very well with the defensive block. He knows how to get back and defend. He is an essential player to the team. And he also links up well with Kylian on the left. We saw this. I hope that he will be on his best tomorrow. Best level that he's been on since the beginning of the competition. And I think that if everyone gives it their all tomorrow, as we have been doing, we'll be in the final. Last question from RTL. Hi, Adrien. Didier Deschamps said that the defeat in the 2016 Euro helped the victory of the 2018 win. You've obviously come out of a World Cup final lost. You're getting to the Holy Grail, and does that whet your appetite even more? Obviously, the final that we lost was very important. It is still important. We were able to lick our wounds and get back up. We had a great qualifying round. We are in it to win it. We are still here. In the
voilà, malgré
semi-finals,
ce qu'on peut entendre, le débat sur
despite
le jeu,
what we're hearing, despite what people are saying, whether
fait qu'on
we're
est
an
là,
interesting
je
team to
pense que ça
watch or
nous
not,
a
but the
grandement
fact that we're in the
servi.
semi-finals
Et
speaks for itself.
la majeure partie des joueurs
The major
qui
part
étaient,
of
qui étaient là en
our
2022 sont là
players
aussi. Et je pense
who
que
were there in
voilà, notre parcours
2022 are still
jusqu'à
here,
présent, il est vraiment
and
pas
I
anodin.
think that
C'est dans nos têtes, on
we
a
have
vraiment envie
done what we
de
needed
faire
to
quelque
get
chose,
here.
de soulever un
We
trophée
want
après être passé
to
si près du but
lift the
en 2022.
trophy after having
Merci,
got
Adrien. On
so
enchaîne
close
avec
to the
Didier
goal
Deschamps tout de
in
suite.
2022.
Merci
Thank
beaucoup.
you very much, Adrien. We'll be following up with the coach in a minute.